What about stop the violence though?
Fuck that. We gonna keep this shit going.
Oh
God, can't nobody stop this shit. Can't nobody stop me when I got my man on. You feel me on the line? Then we got a fish. We got a fish on the line. Top ain't nothing like that.
A leaked audio recording of NBA Youngboy going completely off, screaming, spitting on his phone screen mid-rant, has the entire hip-hop community watching this situation differently now. He was not firing at Blueface directly. He was going at Blueface's mother. And then, in the same breath, at the mother of Blueface's son. Both of them. In one volcanic, unfiltered private recording that is now permanently part of the public record. That is where this beef stands right now. And if you think this is just two rappers going back and forth on the internet, you have not been paying close enough attention. Let's get into the full picture. Kentrell Gaulden, NBA Youngboy, came up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, in circumstances where violence was not a concept, it was a daily reality. He was shot at before most people in his city knew his name. He caught his first serious legal case as a teenager. He battled federal charges, house arrest, and multiple incarcerations, and through every single one of those obstacles kept releasing music at a pace that made every other artist in his lane look slow. He became the youngest artist in history to chart 100 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. His 2025 Make America Slime Again tour was the biggest solo run of his career, 42 sold-out shows, the first Baton Rouge rapper to hit that milestone in a single tour. His fan base, the 4KT faithful, is among the most loyal and most intense in the entire industry. When someone comes at Youngboy, it is never just Youngboy they are dealing with. His following takes it personally. That matters for everything that follows. Jonathan Porter, Blueface, came out of Los Angeles and broke through around 2018 with Thotiana, a record that became a genuine mainstream moment. His style was intentionally offbeat, and he leaned into every controversy about it and turned it into his entire brand. He does not filter, he does not back down, and that quality has been the source of nearly every major situation attached to his name. His on and off relationship with Chrisean Rock, a reality television personality, and the mother of his son, Chrisean Jr., has been one of the most publicly documented relationships in recent hip-hop history. His legal troubles have been just as visible. In January 2024, he turned himself in on probation violations and spent over a year incarcerated before walking out in late 2025. Even locked up, his name never stopped generating headlines because the world around him kept moving loudly and publicly without him. Two massive artists. Two very different come-ups. No reputation for backing down from anything. That combination alone makes any conflict between them significant. But the tension between these two did not start with something dramatic. Christmas Eve 2022. Blueface hopped on Instagram Live and ended up in a real-time exchange with Youngboy. The mood was light. They were going back and forth about who had better women in their circles, who pulled more. Youngboy laughed it off, even suggested they do a competition. It was playful, and the internet loved it. But even in that low-stakes exchange, Youngboy dropped something people noticed. He told Blueface he had come across information about him, implying he knew things without spelling out what he meant. Cryptic, deliberate. In hip-hop, that kind of comment does not disappear. It gets filed away. And both fan bases started watching every interaction between these two from that moment forward. What really moved things into different territory was proximity. Chrisean Rock began appearing in spaces connected to Youngboy's world. Then, in September 2025, while Youngboy was in the middle of his record-breaking tour, she showed up at his concert at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. After the show, footage surfaced of the two of them briefly posing for a photo outside the venue. 3.5 seconds of video. That was it. But those 3.5 seconds spread to millions of people overnight. And the reason was not just that they were photographed together, it was Youngboy's body language. Stiff, neutral, almost frozen. Chrisean was smiling wide, leaning in, full energy. He looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. Fans immediately started breaking it down and turning it into memes. The question nobody was saying out loud was obvious. How does Blueface feel about this? Sitting in a prison cell while his baby's mother is getting photographed outside a Youngboy concert. DJ Academics posted a selfie from that same night with Chrisean, captioning it, "Free Blueface." That was all it took to push the conversation into overdrive. Then the next chapter came from someone much closer to the situation. Carissa Saffold is Blueface's mother, and if you have been following hip-hop news at all, you already know she is one of the most active, unfiltered voices in the entire ecosystem. She is not a behind-the-scenes figure. She is on Instagram Live, on X, on every platform, consistently and loudly commenting on Blueface's relationships, his co-parenting situations, his legal troubles, and the people in his orbit. When Blueface lost his video call privileges in prison after footage of a suggestive call surfaced online, it was Carissa who went on record about it publicly. When he was released from prison in late 2025, and drama immediately erupted between Chrisian and Jaden Alexis, the mother of 2 of his other children, over a family outing at an arcade, Carissa went straight to Instagram Live and blasted Chrisian, placing full responsibility on her for ruining what should have been a heartwarming first day home. She has been consistently vocal, consistently visible, and consistently central to how Blueface's public narrative plays out. And somewhere in the middle of all that commentary, she started bringing up NBA Youngboy's name. Not casually, not in passing, repeatedly, using him for engagement. Days of it. That is what triggered the audio. Reports began circulating across hip-hop media involving a leaked private recording of NBA Youngboy in one of the most volatile moments of this entire situation. The audio spread fast, picked up by outlets, broken down on live streams, shared across Instagram stories, analyzed on X and YouTube within hours of being posted. What people heard was not a calculated response. This was Youngboy completely losing his composure. He fires graphic, explicit warnings at Carissa, making it clear she needs to stay out of his business and stop using his name for clout. The delivery is described by everyone who has covered it as volcanic. Screaming, animated. At one point, he can reportedly be heard audibly spitting onto his phone screen mid-rant. That is not the energy of someone mildly annoyed. That is the energy of someone who feels genuinely and personally disrespected. And then it went further. During the same rant, Youngboy turned his fury toward Chrisian Rock, firing severe, unprovoked insults at the mother of Blueface's son without hesitation. That is where the public reaction shifted from curiosity to genuine alarm. Because in hip-hop culture, there is a recognized line between internet trolling and real disrespect. Bringing a man's mother and his baby's mother into a street-tied dispute in the same breath is not a verse on a diss track. It is a personal violation. And both Youngboy and Blueface command fiercely loyal circles with real-world street ties. That combination, personal family disrespect, loyal street-connected entourages, and a private rant now permanently embedded in the public record, is exactly why hip-hop commentators and fans are not treating this like ordinary beef. The word deadly is not being thrown around carelessly. Youngboy's 2025 tour concert in Chicago was canceled by the United Center, a major arena, specifically due to public safety concerns tied to his ongoing tensions with Lil Durk and the broader Chicago rap landscape. A professor who studies race and media told reporters it was a legitimate public safety calculation. His own mother took to social media to say the cancellation was not meant to hurt fans but to protect them. That is a real venue in a major American city making a real decision, because the people responsible for that building decided the risk was too high. And Lil Durk is not even who we are talking about in this video. Blueface, meanwhile, is not laying low. He is out of prison, back on the scene, and in a December 2025 interview, he weighed in on Youngboy directly, questioning the reported tour revenue numbers and calling the hype overblown. Youngboy's fanbase responded immediately and loudly. The back and forth across social media has not stopped. The thing that makes this situation genuinely serious is not any single moment. Not the photo, not the audio, not Carissa's posts. It is the accumulation. 2 men with enormous pride, enormous platforms, and circles of people watching every move. A leaked private recording that cannot be taken back. Personal violations that in this culture carry weight beyond music. And an online machine that profits from every new escalation, that never rewards de-escalation, and that will keep surfacing every new development to millions of people within hours of it happening. This is no longer about 2 rappers competing. The question everybody is watching now is the same one nobody wants to have to answer after the fact. How much further does this go before it becomes something that cannot be undone? What do you think? Is this something that cools off on its own? Or has it already gone too far for that? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe, because this situation is still developing, and we will be right here when the next move gets made.